Hey everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Room, where we talk all things comics and movies. This is episode number 32. We're discussing San Diego Comic-Con 2016. I'm one of your hosts, Tim.
I'm Troy.
And I'm back again, Wayne.
Wayne, welcome back, man. It was great hearing you last week. You're a natural.
Thank you very much. I tried my best and it looked like it was good enough, and I'm back again for a second week in a
Yeah,
row.
round two.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're here in Studio B, as you dubbed it, Troy, once again. Hitting up Nerd Room Southwest Calgary. So I was here last week to talk Star Wars Celebration. You guys touched on it briefly. Mm-hmm. And myself being a huge Star Wars fan.
The biggest.
I missed experiencing that in person. But luckily, Star Wars, their YouTube channel, streamed the majority of Celebration online. Both live and putting up the panels afterwards. So I sat for hours watching these. And I have to agree with you and echo your thoughts, Troy, that the Rebels panel stole the show.
Did it ever?
And I was able to watch that one live.
Nice.
And see that Rebels Season 3 trailer kind of right out of the gates and see the silhouette of Thrawn.
Right.
And then the full reveal. And then Timothy Zahn coming out and dropping canonical book.
Yes.
Coming to the Star Wars readership, to the universe there. And I'm super stoked about it.
Absolutely. They owned a Celebration, Rebels.
Yeah.
You know, for sure.
And for a panel, too, that was set either on the Thursday or Friday, I think the Friday, that wasn't expected to have as big of impact as, say, like a Rogue One or the Sunday, which was the future filmmakers, which kind of fell flat.
Yeah, with the Han Solo reveal that we already knew.
Yeah, there wasn't much substance to that. What I was expecting, maybe there was going to be at least a scene description or some footage shown from Episode 8.
Yes.
Because we had the director there, John Boyega showed up, we had Hamill and Leia, what's her name coming out? Carrie Fisher,
yeah.
And it's and even the Rogue One panel, you know, it was nice to see all those actors, and there's some weird spoilers in that in there. I really enjoyed, though, the behind the scenes.
You did,
footage.
yeah.
It wasn't the full trailer that we were expecting.
That's just it. I know I'm the odd one out there, but I was expecting, you know, a 3-minute trailer, get the Darth Vader, but I was kind of hoping we were going to get that Obi-Wan announcement for the future film creation.
Yeah, that's one thing that they did miss out on, and that's something we didn't see at San Diego either with Star Wars, is an announcement of another set of anthology films.
Right.
Which is something that we were looking at, predicting, trying to speculate on it.
Right.
But maybe that's to come future, you know, and something to look forward to for next Celebration, because that's really where we're going to get Episode 8 footage, probably big time, and the introduction of any, you know, additional cast members, additional movies coming down the pipe there.
That's right.
And so that's something we might want to look into.
For sure.
Hitting up, because it's in Orlando next year.
That's right. So we'll see about that. I was also maybe expecting from San Diego Comic-Con, maybe we'd get an announcement of a comic book, a new comic series to go with Marvel, right? Because Vader Down, or just Vader itself, finishes at issue 25. Do you know Star Wars, the comic, finishes
I'm not
at 25
sure if
as
that
well?
continues on or not. That main series. I don't know why they're canning Darth Vader, because it's one of the top-selling comic books in the Star Wars Marvel.
It really is. Yeah.
It's one of the best.
So good.
Yeah. So we have a ton of stuff to get through. I didn't realize how much information there's going to be to distill through as far as even just Marvel, DC, and Star Wars from San Diego Comic-Con. You know, it's something I should have known, but the amount of stuff, the footage, trailer descriptions, and the casting announcements that were made from both sides of the big two, really.
Right.
It's an enormous amount of information here.
Yeah.
So why don't we just jump right into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
So let's start out with Star Wars here. So Star Wars had a much smaller presence than Marvel and DC at San Diego this year. And there was the two big panels that we kind of focus on was the Star Wars books panel, which included the announcement of the Aftermath Empire's End.
Nice.
So that's the third book in the Aftermath trilogy.
That's right.
The second, which I just started reading.
Nice.
Which I'm looking forward to, or listening to, I should say.
Yeah. 2017, I believe it comes out?
Yeah, January 2017.
Awesome.
And this is going to chronicle the Battle of Jakku.
Oh, that's huge. Highly anticipated right there.
Yeah, so this is going to be, you know, the Empire's last stand, and we're finally going to get reveals as to the significance of the Battle of Jakku and what it does for the Empire, and really thrusting out the First Order.
Wow.
So it's, you know, and this ties into bloodlines and all this, right?
Yeah, and shout out to Claudia Gray, because Lost Stars, that's a huge impact there with Jakku, at least towards, well, no spoilers, but you know what I mean if you read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff, and we also got some stuff on Poe Dameron. So there's going to be this flight logs, which is just some series of material that's kind of chronicling a bit more of the Poe Dameron character, expanding even beyond what we're seeing in the current comic book run. It's coming from Charles Soule.
Yep.
And then there's some other stuff coming out from Rogue One. There's a young reader's novel called Secret Missions, which is coming out, which I'm assuming is going to be similar to what we have with the Before the Awakening young reader's novel.
Oh, that's right.
So coming out just in December, just before Rogue One or just after, I can't remember. But again, it's kind of building and adapting around that Rogue One storyline. So that was kind of just the minor stuff that was announced for Star Wars as far as books. Nothing too significant. No. And Thrawn, the book really took the cake there.
The granddaddy.
Yeah. And so that's coming out in next year, the Thrawn book. And I'm really looking forward to that.
I can't wait. Do we have a timeline of when this takes place maybe, or probably not, eh?
It's gotta be probably in the Rebels time frame.
Has to be, yeah.
Or maybe set before Rebels, kind of building into like his whole the grandeur of Grand Admiral Thrawn, maybe. Right. I don't know if it's more of an origin story or something like that. And because I'm interested to see if he continues beyond Rebels.
Right. And I really want to know his relationship with Palpatine, if it's going to stick to the legendary or the legend source material, right?
Yeah. What I'm really hoping is they expand a bit enough to give us an indication that he makes it through, say, a Battle of Jakku, and he could show up further down the line in more of a live action adaptation.
Right. Benicio del Toro.
Yes.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, just a little collector in his eye.
Yeah.
The white hair, or no, dark hair.
Yeah.
But the other big one for us, because we're Star Wars collectors, and Wayne, I know you're not totally into it yet, but we're going to slowly reel you into
we'll get
the dark side here, right? So I've pulled Troy into collecting the 6-inch Black Series here, and now we're looking up at his wall here, and he's just got packed full of Black Series and Legends and all that, so loving the look down here.
Nice.
But the big reveal, so they're hammering out Hasbro in particular on the 6-inch line, what we're going to see this year.
That's right.
And so we got the Jyn Erso, which is the Rogue One main character, the exclusive at the con, which was revealed similar to what the Stormtrooper was for Force Awakens last year at San Diego Comic-Con. This is also going to be released at Hasbro Toy Shop as well as the Toronto Fan Expo.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to try to get some people up there to maybe go in there and try to snag us a few of these.
Nice stuff.
Come out in the nice box display. So that was beautiful to see.
Sweet.
Kind of your first. And this is a character that's going to come with probably your Force Friday sometime in September.
True. Yeah. So you can find us there at Toys R Us Force Friday.
And then the big reveals were the Black Series, the 6-inch. So coming out next summer, we have Qui-Gon Jinn. Yes, I knew you were going to love that one.
I've been excited for that for a while.
Yeah. We got Hera in the realistic adaptation that we're getting, similar to the Kanan and the Sabine, which drops this year as well.
Yeah, they look great.
And with the Ahsoka as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a big Rebels lineup in the realistic Black Series 6-inch.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. Tusken Raider, so going back to A New Hope.
Yeah.
Lando, so we're getting some Empire love there. Emperor Royal Guard. So we're spanning across the entirety of the original trilogy here.
Yep.
And then also that General Kenobi was announced. So that's the figure that was in the exclusive from Celebration. It's coming as a single packed Black Series figure.
It's a General Kenobi?
Well, it's how Leia refers to him in New Hope as General Kenobi, like the older. Yeah, because we've already got the episode 3.
Right. Okay, my heart stopped because I thought this was the Clone Wars when he has the armor. I was about to just leave right now.
So, and we also talked a few weeks ago about this fan choice. So Hasbro every year puts out the opportunity for fans to vote on social media to actually pick what a single Black Series, something that they'll produce that they usually wouldn't fall into the line, rules being had to be in Star Wars universe somewhat and not existing within the Rogue One timeline or a character that already exists.
Yeah.
And this could be anything from Legends to the current EU and to the whole Force Awakens and all that. So it was between the realistic version of Captain Rex, Darth Talon, Dengar, Jaina Sola, Mara Jade, and Starkiller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we're looking at big, Legend Series figures here, right? So this is stretching way back to some of the early books.
Holy, yeah.
And the winner was Jaina Solo.
Really?
Yes.
I'm surprised.
They're doing a twin from the original Legend Series, what is now the Legend Series, the original EU.
Yeah.
One of the Han and Leia twins.
Wow.
So
the Solo twins.
Going deep, yeah.
That is going deep. When you mentioned Starkiller, I thought it was definitely either between Starkiller or Mara Jade, because I know those are two big.
I think Jaina Solo and Mara Jade were the top. They were kind of bouncing back and forth. They said the panel that I actually did was able to watch online. Someone videotaped or recorded it, so I was able to listen to it with images and pictures coming up. They said that basically 15 minutes before the panel started, that they finally landed on, it's Jaina Solo.
I was going for Dash Rendor, but, I got Qui-Gon Jinn, so I can't complain.
Well, my vote was for Thrawn.
That's right.
But luckily they announced a 3 3/4-inch Rebel Series Thrawn as well as coming out. So
yeah. What do you think of his look, by the way? I'm curious to know both your guys' opinion on that one.
I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it fits the character. He's got, I can't remember the the lizards or whatever that sits on his shoulders,
Right.
the force dampeners. But he has those.
Yeah.
He looks good. He has that kind of stoic, very hard, big square jaw.
Right.
Sort of
Almost
look
the
to him.
Tarkin.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, yeah.
And I think he looks fantastic.
Does. Yeah, what do you think?
I think it looks good. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
But like literally, who thought we would even get a toy of it?
I know, right?
So like anything is good.
Yeah.
I mean, not anything, but like this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, hot off the heels of the announcement too. This is all coming out like rapid fire. It's all of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden we had no Thrawn. He's gone from canon, and all of a sudden it's like boom, here he is.
Yeah.
TV series, book, action figure.
Right, and Timothy Zahn back to do the writing for him.
It just makes me think like, what else from the old expanded universe are they going to bring back?
Exactly.
Well,
Right.
they have such a deep history and so much to pull from that it's where they just put it back in. I think it's to a degree with some of this stuff. There's no doubt in my mind that they're going to bring some of it back, and they have to.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I know you've been begging for a nice little Republic
Yes.
sort of adaptation of some sort, and could they go down that with some sort
Exactly.
of like anthology movie and just go way back and
Yeah.
there's
Like,
there's
the
so much.
origins
so
of
much.
the Jedi Order and like
Oh, I would eat that up.
that would do killer numbers
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then we also got something that they usually don't do at San Diego, but they dropped Rogue One action figures, just a 3 3/4 inch line. So they had this new AT-AT, which is now called the ATACT.
Oh, wow. No more AT-ATs?
So those are the shore based, the ones you see in the trailer where they're kind of running towards. So there's slightly different takes on the AT-ATs, and then some of the within in that pack, which actually you can run it, walks on its own and all that. It's pretty cool. So you
okay.
have Jyn Erso, a driver, and some astromech droids
Yeah.
and some shore troopers. So kind of
Interesting.
starting to see the Rogue One toys rolling out here,
Nice.
which is pretty cool.
So I'm curious if those AT-ATs are the ones we see on Jakku in Force Awakens, because we do see one down.
Yeah,
If maybe they're more equipped for like the beach, the sand.
yeah,
Right?
interesting.
So, yeah, we'll see.
So we will see. And we'll also see in the Empire Zen book too.
Yeah.
So kind of like for Star Wars, like I said, like we had Celebration the week before, which handled a lot of the big Star Wars panels. We didn't see any kind of film or TV related panels at San Diego Comic-Con. But the big ones here, Marvel and DC.
Yes.
And what I want to get, as we go through this, I want to talk through kind of the TV stuff, the film stuff, as well as some of the action figures and collectibles that are being released. But I want us to think as we go through this, because there's always this question: who won Comic-Con?
Always, right?
And I know you got a bit of banter on Twitter today, Troy.
Yeah, it's going down.
A couple of the boys talking about whether or not DC won or Marvel won, and I think it's going to come down to perspective
For sure.
But I'm really interested in the three of us if we can talk a bit through towards the end here as to who we think won and took this. There's going to be some fanboy bias in
Oh,
there.
yeah, for sure. So Baron and Sanjay, listen up.
Yeah, that's fanboy bias on one end. You're going to see it on the other end here, I think. So let's jump into Marvel. So like I said, there's a ton of information to kind of get through here. But let's just start from the top. We'll go for some TV stuff.
Cool.
And do you guys watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I do. I'm a big fan of the show. I think they started out slow, but right now where they are is really great. Their Inhuman storyline was pretty good, so I'm excited to see for season 4. And they just announced Ghost Rider, and I'm like, awesome. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to do it. Is he going to be an integrated member of the team? Or is he going to make cameo? Is he going to be an ally? Is he going to be somebody that they go against? Is he's in the middle?
Yeah.
Kind of going back and forth. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it, because it's just another thing that they actually get to use.
That's right. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, this isn't Johnny Blaze. This
No.
is the Marvel Now most current
this is Robbie Reyes.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So
so-
drives a car.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a bike. Right.
So they revealed the car
Oh.
at San Diego. They had the whole crew rip off the sheet off the car. So it's like a 69 Chevy or something like
Yeah.
that. So a big muscle car.
Nice.
And it's very similar to what they in the comic book adaptation, which he drove as well. Similar concepts without kind of the murderous selling your soul the devil sort of thing.
It's TV, remember?
Yeah.
Still has the flaming head, I take it? Or...
It's a helmet with I think.
Okay.
There wasn't much revealed. They kind of did like this teaser where they had the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. logo and then it catches on fire. Then you see the flaming head come out of it.
Interesting.
But I don't know how far down that path they're going to be able to go particularly with the CGI.
Yeah.
With last season with Hive and that,
Yeah.
they had a single episode reveal of his face, and it was fantastic. It looks like they saved all of their budget of CGI
Exactly.
for that one reveal, so they could do something like that, which would be really cool. A really good way to go with it.
Use it sparingly so it has a greater effect
Exactly.
for the audience.
Because you don't want to come in with something that's even more half-assed than movies were, right?
Yes. Yes.
So do you think that's why they went away from the Johnny Blaze character?
Yeah.
Because he's so poorly received and went right into...
and then you gotta get the motorcycle,
Yeah.
which it's a lot of stunt. I think with
is.
the car, it's maybe a bit easier to control on set. And where you're doing motorcycle and jumping and all this kind of stuff, it's, the CGI has come a long way from even the first season and what they're able to do with a minimal budget.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them shorten up the seasons to maybe like 15 episodes and take your 24 episodes worth of money and compress that into 15 episodes. And that's why I think in some of these bigger series like your Game of Thrones and that, they compress them down. Now that's a totally different scale, mind you.
Yeah.
But they compress them down to shorter seasons, half seasons basically, with hour-long episodes.
Well, they did that with Legends of Tomorrow. I know it's like further along down in our conversation, but last year, or when they announced Legends of Tomorrow, it was getting a full budget, like the same budget Arrow and Flash has, but it turned out it would be only 16 episodes. So they were able to use the CG more often. They still had the same amount of money total, but they could use more money per episode on special effects and set up and more characters.
Right.
So I think that's a really great idea if they shortened it, because it's not a cheap show to produce. It's actually one of ABC's more expensive shows, and that's why it was on the bubble last year, if they was coming back for season 3.
Interesting.
I like the show, but I just don't want some cheap CG for Ghost Rider. I think it's great that they have them. It's great that Marvel allowed them to use it.
Yeah.
But I'm just a little tiny bit worried that we're going to get some cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to look like a paper mache head that's on
Yeah.
fire. I'm like, no, thanks.
Yeah, they got to save their powder for this one and really do something good. And I think they've learned from their mistakes, and they've done well with the Inhuman storyline as far as the powers and what they're able to do with practical effects versus CG. And like I said, the Hive thing was really cool to see. It was really well done.
Yeah.
And it was, I would say, just below kind of movie grade CGI for that. But again, it was all saved for a single episode right towards the end.
Yeah.
So I could really see them doing something like that.
Awesome.
And then also the Netflix series.
Yes.
So we got some big reveals here. We finally got a good, decent... Well, it's not even a trailer for Luke Cage, right? It's more of an extended clip of a fight scene, similar or akin to what we're seeing in the Daredevil series, where he's kind of running through a building or whatever and beating the shit out of a few cronies or whatever. It doesn't seem as epic as those Daredevil ones, so I'm hoping for something a bit more larger scale on that.
Yes.
But what do you guys think of Luke Cage?
Love the actor.
Yeah.
This guy does no wrong. I've been following this guy for a little bit since I've been watching The Good Wife. He's a great actor, but that scene when he gets punched in the jaw and it's slow motion and the guy's arm just breaks.
Yeah.
So Luke Cage.
Yeah.
This guy embodies it.
So there's that main clip, and then there's the highlight.
Oh,
sizzle
okay,
reel.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real for Marvel Netflix show.
Yeah, and that's where you see the fist kind of crumbling and and
love it.
And the clip set to Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah.
Yes, that's my only thing I didn't like.
You didn't like that?
Yeah, I didn't like that song. Kind of bothers me a little bit. I really wanted something because I heard Nas was meant to be behind the music for this show, so I was really hoping for the Nas.
So I saw an interview on IGN with executive producer and Mike Coulter. I forget this executive producer's name, but him and Mike Coulter talked to IGN, and they're basically saying that the show musically is going to be a callback to 90s hip hop.
Okay.
So with 90s hip hop, you got the old West, you got Wu-Tang, you got Biggie, you got like New York based 90s hip hop.
Makes sense.
It's gonna be a lot of. That's why when I heard Old Dirty Bastard in the trailer, I'm like, oh, totally makes sense.
Right.
And so on top of that, you have Ali Shaheed from Tribe Called Quest,
Cool,
and Adrian Young doing the soundtrack for the show.
Okay.
So those guys know their hip hop. They're not some trendy producer that's hot right now. They've got roots. If you do your research, you know these guys know their stuff.
Nice.
So you know you're gonna get great music.
Okay.
Again, I don't know if Old Dirty Bastard needed to be in it, but whatever. It's all good. One thing I really liked about that trailer and that clip in the sizzle reel is like it demonstrated more of the actual true strength of Luke Cage.
Yes.
Because in Jessica Jones, nothing against that show, but you never really got a sense of how strong he actually is.
Right.
Because he's very strong.
Oh, yeah.
So that clip where he takes the car door and wraps it around the guy, throws him down the stairs like it was nothing. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
It's a more true representation of how strong he actually is.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping they go with that side with a lot of the special effects, the more of the practical effects of showing just how strong he is. Because you see him and he just like basically come at me.
Yeah.
And he just stood there. And his hoodie's full of bullet holes, and you're just like, this is a guy who really is confident. You can't hurt me.
Right. Yeah.
And it's great because that's more akin to the comic book character.
Exactly.
It's more akin to the true version of the character compared to what we got with Jessica Jones. I know it was Jessica Jones' show. I know they introduced him, and I think that's great. But I think this, because it's a series, I would very much love a true representation of what he is in the comic books, and I think the executive producer really has a good grasp on that, and that's why I'm like, sign me up September 30th, so I know where I'm going to be.
Yeah,
Nice,
exactly.
nice.
Yeah. Leveraging on that, we have Iron Fist as well.
Yeah.
which the two of them go hand in hand.
Exactly.
And so we got a small kind of introduction to Danny Rand and Iron Fist and a little bit of his mystic powers that we're going to see in the Iron Fist show. So this was something that had a bit of problems getting off the ground initially, but it looks like they're well into filming this. And, you know, we're looking at kind of a little bit of an origin story here. We're seeing, at least in the clip that they showed, or the trailer, more of a teaser, I guess, is, you know, it looks like he's crashing into the ancient city of Kunlun. And then we see just his initial powers escaping what looks to be some sort of insane asylum.
Yeah,
or
psych ward of some sort, right? Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that character develops more. And again, it's these Netflix series. They've given us no reason to doubt them yet.
Yeah.
Iron Fist adapting something that is even quite a bit more different than what we've seen so far from those series. But I'm super excited for this one. And I don't have a huge background in Iron Fist, but I'm looking to this and being like, maybe I should start reading this a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really good to have Iron Fist for a couple reasons. We're getting Doctor Strange in a couple months.
Yep.
So that's going to introduce the magic and mysticism. And then
Exactly.
it's going to be reinforced with Iron Fist. So people who watch Doctor Strange and then go to Iron Fist are not going to feel out of place.
Yeah.
On top of that, I think that it's going to be good to have Luke Cage and Iron Fist do the Heroes for Hire. I'm sorry, but that's like a great comic book series. You guys should definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Those guys have such great chemistry together, and it'd be really interesting to see how their chemistry goes together on the screen.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how they capture that chemistry on live screen, right?
Yeah, I'd hope to a degree they've taken these two actors and put them in a room before casting your Danny Rand.
Yeah.
To be like, these guys have to have this chemistry.
They gotta gel.
That, yeah, exactly. That you could evolve eventually this Heroes for Hire sort of show.
Yeah, I'm a bit selfish, but I kind of just want to have their show just on Netflix.
Yeah.
As like
Just
a series.
get right to it.
Just get right to it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really, I'm not big on the Defenders thing,
Yeah.
because it's like a little weird. They're kind of shoehorning Jessica Jones in there. I would prefer just Heroes for Hire and just have Daredevil come in and cameo. Like, okay, we're going to a Hell's Kitchen. That's Daredevil's territory. Let's go see what he's.
I think it depends on the threat of New York. I want to know what the threat is that makes me want to get involved in this show. Depending how big that is, that'll make me either hop on board or not.
Yeah,
you know?
well, because in the little tease you get for the Defenders, you get kind of the ripping of the different logos and that, creating Defenders.
Yeah.
But you do get Stick, which I believe is a new quote that's saying that, what do you think the four of you can protect New York or whatever it is.
You can't even protect yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so whether or not that gives an indication that it's something with the hand and maybe Elektra coming back, I don't really know what could be out there as far as New York as far as threat that could bring in the four of them together that wouldn't require that from, say, what we just saw in Daredevil Season 2.
Right.
Which is basically Elektra, Punisher, and Daredevil, right?
Yeah. If you look at the the Defenders teaser, when all the papers were ripped, it actually looks like a hand.
Oh, does it?
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
It looks like, go back and watch it, and like you can kind of almost not see the pinky, but
Yeah.
you can see the rest of the fingers.
Okay,
So
interesting.
If you go back into the Iron Fist comic book, there's a little bit of connection with the hand on the mysticism part. So I could definitely see connecting through Daredevil, connecting through Iron Fist. I'm like, there's your big threat.
Okay.
And they could like do all these different things that you quite wouldn't be ready for on a TV, but Marvel's like built up all these characters, established them. So we can go the mythical route with powers and the different looking creatures, and still have it be somewhat reality based, street level superheroes.
Yeah.
And like whoever's doing the Defenders, who's running the show, has like a very tall order on them, because if you look individually of all the three shows right now, they're all looking pretty good. So I really hope they do a good job. Hope they take like a very good storyline from the comic books, and I'm just crossing my fingers that like it's good as I hope it is, because like you said, so far they've kind of not let us down.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how much Marvel is hand holding / making sure that they don't make any missteps, because I know Marvel's kind of notorious for like getting the directors, executive producers to do certain things for narratively.
Okay.
We're going to get all these great shows, but since Defenders is more of a team up and they have to do the balance, and we all know how difficult it is to balance out strong characters in movies and TV shows, I wonder if Marvel is going to have somebody in there to balance, to just, okay, a little less this, a little more of that,
right,
just to like kind of point them in the right direction.
Well, I'm sure there is going to be, and they probably have some sort of story group that's in there, similar to what Lucasfilm does, as far as controlling these characters and looking down the road and seeing where we need to have these characters placed as far as future storylines and that. Because even in Daredevil Season 2, towards the end, we started to get some very different storylines and narrative in there, dealing with kind of those weird zombie kids and the Elektra being put into that kind of whatever it was, a pot, whatever you want to call it. And so there's something different going on there. So they started to tease a bit of this and try to pull it out, because I remember, because myself and my wife watched Daredevil, and the first one is super grounded, and then when we get to the back half of season 2, stuff starts to change a little, so you can see them starting to see that earlier on. And we're gonna, not so much probably in Luke Cage, but definitely Iron Fist, and then probably more so to amp up the threat level to New York and Defenders.
They also officially announced Daredevil season 3. I'm like, well, we all knew this was coming.
Oh, definitely. Without a question.
Not a surprise. Just thinking like, we're probably gonna get Iron Fist beginning of next year's spring, most likely.
Every 6 months it seems like they come out.
Nice.
And so next fall-ish, we're probably gonna get Defender. So we're probably looking at Daredevil, spring 2018.
Yeah, a year and a half later.
Just jam-packed.
You know what? At first I was like, 6 months is too long. I'm like, I think it's perfect enough.
It is good. Yeah. It's a good time to kind of sit back and enjoy and revisit some of these things before getting back into Luke Cage. Because also in between that, you have the films and you have comic books. There's just so much. These things were coming out every 2 months that you had to binge watch for 15, 16 hours or whatever it is. You get tiresome of some of these things, right? And I do like you said, this idea of every 6 months, you get your kind of Marvel fix, your Marvel TV fix, some different characters, some off characters you're never going to see in film, really, or maybe, hopefully, down the road. But I was surprised that they didn't announce a Punisher series.
That's what I was... Oh, man, I really wanted that.
He did come out, and so I think they're kind of saying, they're nodding him. He got an action figure, and so they're giving the nod that, yes, this guy's a fan favorite, because people freaked out when he came out.
Yeah, they said, earlier this year that he is getting a show, but I think they kind of have to figure out where to put him.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they kind of kept him on the hush for a little bit now, right?
He probably will make a cameo in Defenders, realistically.
I would think so, yeah.
Because he's so good in Daredevil. Really...
Stole the show.
I didn't think it'd be that much of a factor, but... Just episode 9, season 2, Daredevil's amazing. The prison,
so good.
Didn't even expect it.
No,
I was like, what? I had to watch the episode twice.
Nice.
Because he was at the end of the sizzle reel that they showed in the panel. He was the focus. As it went black, it would just zoom right in on his chest.
Oh man!
And so we're gonna see lots of Punisher coming down the road.
Can't wait.
So jumping into the films. So Marvel had a massive panel, a little different than what they normally do. They didn't really bring everyone out and kind of sit them down. And so what we're going to do here is we'll run through kind of chronologically as these come out, not as they were announced. So starting with Doctor Strange. So we got another trailer for Doctor Strange. And what did you guys think of this? This is kind of, again, we're stepping, like we mentioned, into the more mystical, something that's a bit different. We touched on this idea, this concept of magic in Thor, kind of, where it's more technology you don't understand. But this is stepping way further down the road of the mystic arts and that. So we're starting to see this develop in this trailer more so than we saw in the first teaser, which was kind of just pointing towards the idea that we had kind of this arrogant surgeon that gets injured and has to do something to fix it. Where this is showing, okay, we're going on astral plane level here. What did you guys think of what you saw in this trailer?
I love it. Not only are they stepping more into the mysticism route, they're owning it. This looks incredible. Like I said before, some comparisons I'm sure a lot of people have with Inception, but it also has kind of like the Inception sound, like the music, the score a little bit, and these effects are top notch. These might be some of the best effects I've seen in a Marvel movie, and this is just going off the trailer. It was funny at the end. It came off organically. It wasn't like, BVS, is she with you? I thought she was with you. Like this actually flowed. It was so funny, that little end part. And I'm totally on board with Doctor Strange now. The first trailer I was kind of on board. Now I'm just like, I'm going to get the comic. I'm going to get the Marvel Legends. I'm into this world right now. Loved it.
I was sold on from the first trailer.
Nice.
I just wanted to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since they just did a subtle name drop with
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier is like Dr. Stephen Strange. I'm like,
yes.
So it makes me think, is part of this movie taking place before Winter Soldier? Because they knew about him, but if he's just a regular surgeon, why would S.H.I.E.L.D. even care about him?
Yeah, we're talking about that a little bit before. When does that take place, right?
So we've speculated that this could be sort of a continuum across from Winter Soldier through. But there was some talk from Kevin Feige that said, basically, I don't know if this is just an easy way to get out of it, is that, he was just this really good surgeon that was on Hydra's radar. And he was very outspoken, so that's why his name dropped. But I like the idea that the Doctor Strange movie takes place starting before Winter Soldier, through Winter Soldier, and then present day is when he actually develops his powers. So it's not so much he finds, the Ancient One, and all of a sudden he has his powers. It takes years to develop. It's
mastering it.
Yes,
yeah.
it's practice and repetition, all that he has to go through. And it's maybe compressed down into somewhat of a montage-y sort of thing. But that it's just, so it spans. So it's, instead of being like right as or right after Civil War, it's happening during Civil War, during Winter Soldier, and during all these other movies that have happened in between them.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I really like that.
Yeah, and I'm also really excited that the way that they're telling the story for Doctor Strange is that they're seeding the villain for the future within the first movie.
Right.
Which gives them a really natural way to like have him turn into the villain.
Exactly. Because right now they look buddy-buddy. The chemistry's cool between them, right? There's such a mutual respect. Yeah.
It's gonna be good to see how the kind of the fall of Baron Mordo.
Yeah.
Right.
And I hope it's kind of more, even if it takes to the third movie to finally get to this, his final, arch nemesis forming. I don't want it to be like, hey, guess what, guys? I'm actually evil. I'm behind this plan to begin with.
Yeah.
And I want it to be kind of more of organic growth, and maybe this resentment of Stephen Strange. Maybe he gets the Sorcerer Supreme over Baron Mordo. And that sort of kind of chemistry relationship developing.
Hopefully they don't go the Green Lantern route, where it's like, the end credits, Sinestro's like, hey,
well, that's it. That's like they need to build this. It needs to be, you need to feel the weight behind that. It's kind of like a Thor Loki sort of thing. Like it's this resentment because he's getting the crown or whatever. It just has to be more organic within the movies.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you do see him wearing the Eye of Agamotto around his neck at one point. Do you think there's an Infinity Stone in there?
Probably.
Yeah. They have to, right?
100%.
They have to get these things. They get two more to get.
Yeah, definitely.
And this seems like the next logical movie to have an Infinity Stone in, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like you said, the visuals look fantastic, and
Incredible.
we're getting, the constant comparison is Inception, and I'm hoping that this breaks through that, and this becomes the new comparison for Inception-like movies with the visual effects. And I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Right.
I'm assuming some sort of astral plane and all that going on, but it looks, like you said, fantastic.
Yeah.
You get a better look at Mads Mikkelsen's character.
His makeup, right?
Yeah.
The eyes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So he looks like he's some sort of, at least maybe disciple or some sort of student of maybe the Ancient One that's kind of turned to the dark side, kind of more like a Sith Lord sort of thing, kind of into the dark arts,
right?
And maybe being controlled by maybe like a Dormammu of some sort. So he's got almost a puppet master above him,
right?
And so you're looking at maybe a bigger bad further down the road.
Yeah, like he's been sealed away, but he's kind of making his way back through him. Maybe.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the things they could do, I just thought about, is like they defeat whoever Mads Mikkelsen is, like his character, and then like the end credits like tease Dormammu.
Yeah,
like, exactly.
I could totally see Marvel doing it.
Oh yeah.
And they have the opportunity here with a brand new property, and this is something that they've done with Guardians and Iron Man. Is right now not a lot of people, at least in the greater population, the moviegoers. We have us comic fans that kind of know the origin stories of Doctor Strange, but right now they have the ability to go in and tweak things, to change things to fit kind of the movie universe.
Right.
And as you get further down the road with, say, even Guardians now and Iron Man and Cap, people are going to get more ticked off when you start tweaking, their origin stories or their characters in that. Where here you have the ability to essentially lay the foundation for Doctor Strange's universe, because coming out of this, and you'll notice towards as we discuss more of these are all Phase 3. These are none of the original Phase 1 characters that we're talking about. Yeah. And they have this big photograph at the end where they talk about the Marvel family. Let's get a big picture, and you look at, there's no Phase 1 characters in there.
Wow.
It's all brand new characters. These are the franchises that are going to take us beyond 2020, beyond Infinity War, right?
Yeah.
And so they're building this new whole universe around these new characters. Yeah. And this is what's going to propel Marvel into the future when we do, maybe not have a Captain America movie every 2-3 years or an Iron Man movie. Maybe these guys become more support roles.
Right.
But these are the characters they're going to be looking to carry the MCU, for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. And I love it because Marvel's been doing it in their comics, right? Especially nowadays, they're always switching up the status quo. We're switching up, the new stories that we're following. So more power to them.
Yeah, exactly. And so one of my most anticipated movies of 2017 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah, that's all you.
Yeah, and James Gunn I watched this panel as well. They posted it online. Yeah. And James Gunn come flying out, just amped up to 11. Like, this guy just loves what he does.
Nice.
And they had 3 clips that they showed. So we only got scene descriptions. From all of this, we didn't get any footage from the Marvel panels, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah. With the exception of the new title card. Yeah. Which is quite long, actually. But with Guardians, so they had the 3 clips. So they had a piece featuring Yondu, Rocket, and Baby Groot with the Ravengers. And then they had behind-the-scenes featurette with the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride at Disneyland.
Whoa.
So that's taking over the old Tower of Terror.
No
it's
way.
It's going to be a collector's base. I think it's going to be basically you're going through the collector's collection, if you will.
Wow.
And so that's good. Looking to open, I think, in 2017 at some point. So they're
That's
shutting
huge.
down
That's a big move. Yeah, because I love that tower. I love that ride. Wow.
And then we got a nice little glimpse at a little montage piece of showing kind of the main Guardian, Star-Lord, Drax, and that. It looks like it was really well received. Mm-hmm. Very much of the Guardians of the Galaxy vibe that we got from Volume 1. Mm-hmm. This movie takes place almost on top of the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Really? So it's a bit different than the normal Marvel movies, which usually take place a year or so after, maybe similar to like the in real life time frame.
Did we reveal a soundtrack? Because the last one was pretty sweet.
Yeah, so there's a few songs in there. I can't remember exactly what they did, but again, it's this similar vibe.
Nice.
It's, building from the soundtrack out into the movie. And really capturing that.
Maybe the 80s?
Yes, maybe.
Sweet.
So they rolled out some of the Ravengers. So one of the new characters is Taserface, which sounds ridiculous. But he's an old character from the original Guardians line, from the 90s line. It sounds like it, right?
Sounds like it.
So he looks like he's going to be the leader of, at least to some degree, the Ravengers. Or Yondu seems to have more of this contentious relationship with the Ravengers at this point.
Cool.
They marched out kind of the whole line. So we got Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, Zoe Saldana, and then they marched out a couple new characters. So we knew we had confirmation that Mantis was going to be in this by this actress who I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her name. So she's not going to be green though, apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's just going to be her. They called James Gunn said her normal skin color.
That's interesting because like Karen Gillan and Zoe Saldana both aren't their natural skin color in the movie.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is it's another green character. So you'd have Drax, Gamora, Mantis, Hulk. Right? You're starting to build too many green characters.
That's true. And they had to really change the colors, right? Because in the comics, you look at Gamora and Drax, the colors pretty similar.
Yeah, they really grayed up Drax.
They did, yeah.
That's true.
And then they also announced this Elizabeth Debicki. She's playing Aisha.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool character, actually. So she's kind of was constructed as this perfect being. And they also call her. But she was the second of that type, preceded by him, which is Adam Warlock.
Yeah. So, and in the Easter egg for Guardians of the Galaxy, you could see Adam Warlock's little
cocoon.
The cocoon, yeah. And she came out of a cocoon as well.
So I'm wondering if we're actually going to get Adam Warlock in number 2.
Oh, I would absolutely freaking love, even if we got just another hint towards Adam Warlock that this is coming further down the future, right?
Yeah,
because he has a lot of significance when it comes to the one of the Infinity Stones, right?
Exactly, it's on his head, right?
Yeah,
like Vision.
Yeah, similar to Vision. So it'd be interesting to see if we get that character, because I really thought that's who Star-Lord's father was going to be.
Yes,
but we've got the reveal that it's in fact Kurt Russell's character, who is playing Ego, the Living Planet.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to work?
Well, I think they revealed his costume too, so he does have a human form, and obviously because Star-Lord's his son, and you have to have a human form. So I'm kind of let down though by it, to be honest. I was really shooting for. I know they didn't want to go with Jason, the original father, but I'm with you, man. I wanted Adam Warlock. I really wanted that to be the dad, or maybe someone from like the Nova Corp, or something a little better than the knockoff Moga Planet from DC. Not on board with this one. What do you guys think?
I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, and it's Kurt Russell, man. You got Kurt Russell.
I think it's great. Kurt Russell's a great actor. He's done a great body of work. However, I'm just like, I would love to have left that for the movie. Honestly,
it's kind of spoiled too, right?
Yeah.
They did reveal a lot there. I am happy that Kurt Russell is playing his father.
Yes,
I'm assuming he's gonna have the big beard in that, which looks like Jason from the comic book. And the fact that they're using Ego, my guess is that as far as how it's going to work, he either can control a planet or become part of it, or it's some sort of spaceship and people think it's sentient. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be his face slapped on the outside of a planet. I think
so it's not like the Galactus cloud.
Exactly. Can't go anywhere near that.
Another thing from the movie is like Sylvester Stallone's in the movie.
Yeah, because wasn't he in the last one they said supposedly? Or he's been, but you just didn't see him? Was he on set for the last one, or was it just this one?
I think it's just this
one.
Okay.
One,
yeah. I'm like curious to see who his character is in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
But again, I don't even want to know until I sit in the theater. I'd rather like just not have it spoiled. Just I'm already on board for number 2. The first one was great, big surprise, but great overall. So just like, stop ruining things for us, please, Marvel.
Yeah,
it does seem like a pretty big plot device to spoil the dad reveal a little bit, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I think to a degree. It would have been nice to maybe step back from that, or at least just say he is Ego, but not step back from that, revealing that he is his father. But it's one of those things that's really hard to stay away from, some of these spoilers, right?
It is.
And especially when you do a podcast that talks about these specific spoilers. But the other cool reveal was, did you see Yondu when he came out and he's rocking the big fin sail on his head?
Sold.
So that's like straight out of the original comics.
Oh yeah.
Because I know a lot of people are disappointed from how small it was in the original. It looks like it's some sort of component of the smaller Mohawk that he had in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. And I'm really digging his new look.
That's so cool.
And he seems to have a bigger part in this movie. He's part of the Guardians, as is Nebula.
Yeah.
And so it looks like they're going to be a much larger roles as far as fighting on the side of the Guardians. And it depends. We'll see who the actual villain is. It looks like the Ravengers are going to be at least some sort of antagonist, but probably something along the lines of Ego and something maybe a bit bigger than that, as far as kind of the threat to the galaxy, if you will. Maybe a Thanos seed again, which you have to start pumping that a bit more. We have to start rolling up,
We're running out of movies.
Start building up the Thanos army, or the concept of that he's coming, that he's doing something, that he is gathering these stones beyond of, we saw at the end of Age of Ultron, he's got the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's just what is his next step as far as gathering these stones. And then on to Spider-Man Homecoming.
My boy.
Yes, I'm super interested to see what you guys think of what they revealed from Spider-Man Homecoming. So they had a scene description, and they showed some stuff that gives us this very John Hughes vibe of a movie. Even Freaks and Geeks was mentioned as a comparison, which is a TV show that I absolutely love. And if they can hit those two, kind of the vibe from those movies, this is going to look incredible.
It's going to be great.
It's going to have a different feel from any other Marvel movie that we've seen to date. And it was from the director, John Watts. He specifically stated, this is about a boy in high school. We've had billionaire playboys, we've had super soldiers, we have gods, we have Hulks, all that kind of stuff. This is simply a teenager movie built into a whole superhero genre, right? And so again, it's this thing that Marvel keeps continuing to hit on, is that they're taking specific genres and melding them into a comic book movie. Like your political thrillers and that sort of thing. So what did you think of the Vulture art?
I love it. I love the concept art, because I'm one of these people that's on board with the Vulture. I want to see it happen, especially if you have Michael Keaton behind the mantle of Vulture. I think he's going to deliver all the way. And just a little synopsis they kind of gave out, it just sounds great. It's going to be funny. It's going to be the sense of a boy in high school that had powers that can't say anything. Like, he hears that everyone's talking about Spider-Man. He's on YouTube and he wants to say, "Hey man, that's me," but he can't. He won't do it, right? So it's going to be such a cool experience, and something so different than anything else we've seen. But I feel like we say this every time when a new Marvel movie's coming out. Doctor Strange, Captain America, all these things are so different, just different properties, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Troy basically hit it on the head. It's going to be really, really interesting to see an actual high school kid with powers.
Yes.
Like, that's essentially the spirit of the first set of comic books. Like, he's a kid. He doesn't really understand half the things that are going on in his life. And then he has superpowers on top of it. He's got this responsibility to help people. He's going to be dealing with a lot of heavy stuff that he should never have to deal with, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting to see how he interacts, and if he decides to confide in somebody, or however they play that up. Because I just think that, with what we've had in the past as far as Spider-Man, though the actors were good, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were great actors in the Spider-Man roles, we never really had a believable high school teenager.
Yes, absolutely agree.
And like with what we saw in Civil War, this makes me believe, whoever they pick for Spider-Man, his name escapes me right now.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland. It's great. Like, he completely looks like and acts like he's a kid.
Yeah, just embodies it.
And it's great. Like, I'm just like, I'm on board. I'll be there opening night.
Nice.
Exactly. I'm a bit pulled back from the Vulture concept art.
Really? Yeah, you feel it, eh?
I was looking at it, and when I saw it, I was like, this looks a little bit like it was left over from Amazing Spider-Man 2. It was a little bit, like, to be honest, the vibe I got from it.
Yeah.
And so I need to see it in motion. Like, I know it's just concept art, and that stuff changes all the time. This is just to give you a good look, and basically a confirmation that, yes, Vulture, he's been heavily rumored that he's actually going to be in it. And I need to see a bit more of this to get on board.
For sure.
I'm totally on board with the vibe of the movie and what they're going for. They just have to have the right villain and the right dynamic there to make it a rounded out superhero movie.
For sure, because they've been lacking in the Spider-Man franchise a proper villain since Octopus, which you talked about last episode. He was great, and we haven't had a good villain since then, right?
So had a bunch of Green Goblins.
Green Goblins, which has been ridiculous. I also like how it's a mashup of the Ultimate Universe. We got somebody in there who I think is going to be Gank from the Ultimate Universe, which is Miles' best friend. We have Flash in there. That's confirmed as Flash, but is a different race, which is cool. And then we have another girl in there. I think, we do have another girl in there who seems like she could be someone from Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon, cool. Liz Allen kind of. So I can't wait. I'm just so excited for this movie.
Yeah, and like one weird thing that I read, like Donald Glover, guy from Community, son of comic, years ago, he was kind of like lightly kind of campaigning to be Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Yeah, doing Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he eventually got cast in, Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, like, is this going to be like a backdoor Easter egg and make him be Mr. Morales, like one of his teachers?
Yes, yeah, we're talking about that. I'm hoping he's going to be Prowler and his nephew would be Miles. I'm hoping, because he's a little bit older. So that's why I'm really going for.
He doesn't fit that Miles Morales age.
Not anymore,
no.
Old. Yeah.
But having something like that, that would be...
I would love it. And Prowler's getting his own standalone now, right? Yeah. With this whole new Marvel. So,
which, in the past, you see Marvel Comics seeding these characters earlier on to get the awareness up, and then all of a sudden they're dropping. So you've seen this continually through the years.
Yeah.
That, Captain Marvel's gotten quite big, and Black Panther's being thrust back in the limelight.
Doctor Strange.
Exactly. Yep. And so you're seeing them taking up bigger roles in the comic books beyond what they were as supporting Avengers and that, and then all of a sudden they have their own movies.
Yeah.
So I like to take sometimes cues from the comic books to say, well, maybe this is coming down the pipe eventually. They're testing the water, say, in the comic book universe for the reception of particular individuals, particular characters, and to see eventually if they could see them in movies. To see how I like to see that there's some sort of synergy there.
Definitely.
And not just building, oh, hey, they've done well in the movies, so we're going to give them a comic book. Let's try the opposite way and see if we can get these characters, thrusted a bit more to the forefront of viewership.
For sure.
What about Thor 3? So this is a movie that we're finally starting to see, and I know you guys talked a bit about this last week of the Hulk on-set videos that we're seeing.
Right.
And they showed off the Hulk armor, which looks like it fell right out of the comic book. And it looks incredible. Yeah. There's a few scene descriptions that were pointing towards some gladiatorial fights with Hulk and Thor, and kind of maybe this unworthy Thor kind of concept that we're getting.
Yeah.
The confirmation of some of the villains, particularly Surtur, and a few others. Hela apparently looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And so it looks like a jam-packed movie.
For sure, they got a lot.
Jeff Goldblum playing Grandmaster, and they just started shooting this thing. So there's really no footage, I think, beyond maybe some really early on concept art, as well as some really early on shots that they may have showed maybe some clip art from or whatever.
Yeah.
But this looks like it's really developing into this, more of the Planet Hulk storyline than I thought there was actually going to be in there. There seems to be quite a focus in on what we're going to see from both a Thor and a Hulk perspective.
Yeah.
And which is cool. It's a nice way that Marvel is sidestepping their deal with
Universal
to get a standalone Hulk movie, kind of shoehorned into a Thor movie. And I'm curious if it's going to take away from the movie a little bit, or if we're going to get maybe a bit half of what we wanted from Ragnarok and half of what we wanted from an actual Hulk standalone, and not enough of either.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that with this new director, he seems to have a bit of a vision as far as what he wants to produce with Hulk and Thor. And there's that cool mockumentary apparently that they showed, and it was where Thor and Hulk were kind of a lighthearted take on where they were during Civil War. Thor was living in Australia with his roommate, and it looked quite funny. I guess hopefully they reveal it at some point. It might be some sort of one shot that they produce at some point, just kind of
bring it back.
This fun mockumentary.
That'd be great. No, I can't wait. The fans have been asking for Planet Hulk, World War Hulk for a while now, right? And good old Kevin Feige out there, he really does listen, and he has such a good idea of what he's doing with this universe, and I can't wait to see it. And you know what? Even if it takes away a bit from Thor, I'm totally fine with that, because we've had 2 Thor films that can't really seem to stand well alone. So give them the power of Hulk there for sure.
That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking Thor movies are passable. They're great for setup, but outside of Thor in that film universe, there's not really a lot of other strong characters that you can oh my god, okay, this guy's in it, it's great.
Just Loki,
right? And I think they don't want to overuse Loki too much, because he's such a good character. Tom Hiddleston does such a good job of playing him that you need something else. It's so with them adding Hulk in and having the little bit of adversarial thing with Hulk and Thor, I could definitely see like that pushing through the slower parts of the movie, not having to rely on like the Warriors 3 from Thor 1 and 2.
Jane Foster.
Oh, yeah.
Like
what's her name?
Natalie Portman
Darcy.
doesn't even want to be in the movie, so like don't have her. She
No.
doesn't look like she wants to be there in the scenes.
Yeah.
It's like,
And this is going to be the first time that we're probably not going to have Thor visiting Earth as
Yeah.
well. This is going to be completely out in the other realms.
which is great. You know, it should be in Asgard and the other realms that he's supposed to be a defender of. I think it's great. Thor on top of that, him causing havoc, because we saw how he just picked up and ragdoll Loki like he was nothing. So
Yeah.
you can imagine a bunch of other people, like they think they're strong and like fight the Hulk, and he's like way stronger.
Right.
But I'm going to be interested to see if they go with like the Grey Hulk. Right now, the Hulk character outside of Bruce Banner, just a green guy, is kind of one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So one thing that I have that's been rumored is that there's going to be more of a melding of Hulk and Bruce Banner into this character. So
Right.
maybe more of an intelligent Hulk.
Yeah.
And so that's how you maybe can thrust and progress the narrative of the individual character. But again, that's a lot of setup that they have to do. So they have to produce that concept as well as get them into space at some point off of it. Whether or not they just say, you just pulled up on the joystick and fired off into space.
I think they probably just somebody from Asgard took him.
It could be as simple as the Grandmaster, Jeff Goldblum's character, comes down and says, I'm taking you, and you're going to fight in the gladiatorial ring, wherever, and something as simple as that probably would work.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
don't need a kind of a long, extended, you're right, sequence to kind of just saying, well, at the end of Civil War, or start of Civil War, he flew to space, and whatever.
Those things can't go in space.
Yeah.
We learned this from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the most anticipated movies, at least from my perspective, of 2018 is Black Panther. He's one of my favorite characters.
Nice.
And they continually adding characters and actors to this that make this thing look absolutely epic. They showed absolutely nothing. No concept art with the exception of a new title card. And they just brought out the cast, and that jacked me up more so than the majority of these movies that came out.
Yeah.
So we have Michael B. Jordan,
Yeah.
confirmed as Eric Killmonger,
Yes.
which is the character I wanted him to be to start with. So he's this exiled son, which has ties to Ulysses Claw, which is Andy Serkis's character.
Yeah, which is one of his big villains.
Yeah, exactly. And so Lupita
Yeah.
is playing a villain to some degree, so Nakia.
Nice.
But she does eventually become, what's her name? Malice.
Cool.
So that's all part of the Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
And so then we have confirmation too that Walking Dead star, the actress that plays Michonne.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's going to be the head of the Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
And which is awesome.
Nice.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that character in there. And then they have Chadwick Boseman again returning as T'Challa.
As the man himself.
So this is an incredible cast.
Yeah.
And what looks like it's going to develop, because so I know some of the history of these characters and their connection to each other and the building of the villains within it. Potentially a Winter Soldier cameo.
Right.
And expanding on the concept of Wakanda. And Ryan Coogler, the director, again says how much he's looking forward to producing and having almost Wakanda as a character itself, which we're seeing in the current Black Panther run, is that Wakanda is almost a character. Right? And that's what I want them to develop in the movie itself, is that they need to really focus on building up this kind of primitive looking society that is the most technologically advanced society on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And so what are you guys thinking of what their these casting and these character announcements?
I love it. I love it for so many reasons, especially on a diverse level, right? This is a huge cast that we got, and it's the most diverse cast we've had since, I couldn't tell you, maybe 12 Years a Slave, right?
Yeah.
Or Selma. This is incredible. Marvel, once again, is going in another step, another direction that we haven't gone before. These guys just can't do any wrong until I see them do it. I mean, I'm just on board. Love it. Yeah.
Same. On top of that diverse note, I think it's great that we have all this diversity. Another point is they're not changing a character to just to fit the diversity quota.
Exactly.
Like the Black Panther comic book has existed for a while.
Yes.
So if you go back, all the characters are African American or Black, however you want to have them described. So it's like it makes sense. They're not doing it to meet some quota, which is great. It actually feels like this character actually belongs there, which is fantastic. I think Ryan Coogler, the director, he did
Fruitvale Station,
Creed.
Yeah.
He's such a good job
brilliant.
of Creed, and like having him as a director to helm everything, it's great. Like he just genuinely cares, having all the actors and actresses be there, them being genuinely excited because Fruitvale Station is a good movie. Creed's a fantastic movie.
It's great.
Just makes you realize that Marvel actually cares
Yeah.
about putting out good quality content, especially because it's so diversity heavy that they kind of have to, like, this has to be above bar.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it has to be, like, quality for those people out there who don't like that.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're not going to give you an excuse to hit on it. It's going to be just as good as everything else, which is fantastic. Yeah. I'm on board. It's going to be interesting to see how this movie fits in with the greater Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I understand the whole Winter Soldier being there at the end of Civil War.
Yeah.
But how does it fit with the Infinity War? That's my thing.
Yeah, it's probably going to be more standalone-ish.
Yeah.
It's developing the concepts of Wakanda and inner workings and T'Challa becoming a new king.
Yeah.
And that sort of concept with, Eric Killmonger coming in, maybe wanting to try to, organize some sort of coup with the help of Ulysses Claw and Malice and all that. And probably have very loose ties, similar to what I think Doctor Strange is going to be. It's going to be there in the MCU. There might be some off references. You can see in the Doctor Strange, you can see the Avengers Tower in the folding out city and that. And there's going to be references probably to maybe the Secret Avengers, as alluded to at the end of Civil War. But at the same time, I think it's going to be a lot about the Black Panther and the Wakanda story. It has to be, right?
Yeah.
You can't saturate or pull apart a Black Panther story and try to shoehorn in a Captain America story or what have you, right?
Exactly.
It has to feel like a Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to give Ryan Coogler the reins to do really more or less what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's telling a total Wakandan story instead of trying to fit this into the greater part of Infinity War. Because when you look at it, Black Panther fits in Infinity War, but Infinity War doesn't fit into Black Panther.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good call.
So it's kind of how you develop that. And I think they really need to have a strong start to this character and a strong origin story. It doesn't exactly feel like a drawn out origin story because we know who this character is. But this needs to be the new Captain America. I think this needs to it's going to go along the same path. It's going to have the same similar tone. I think the character is very similar in a sense, but it's on a grander scale.
Exactly.
I think they need to develop that. This could even be a kind of melding of Cap and Iron Man.
Yeah,
as well,
you have
right?
the technology, right? Yeah.
So I think they need to have a strong foundation for this character because you're going to see a trilogy out of this, and this needs to take you beyond your Thors, Captain Americas, and that, right?
Yeah.
This has to be your new set of characters.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And he's had such a great start already going off of Civil War. I think him and Spidey were one of the highlights, right?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
With this cast, man, I don't think you can't get much better actors.
Right? Yeah, definitely not.
So, and then right at the end of the panel, right after all these reveals, Kevin Feige's got the whole group together, and he says, "Oh, by the way, here's Captain Marvel." So a movie we're not going to see till 2019, and we get the confirmation of Brie Larson, Oscar winner, and someone that can carry a movie from an acting chops and from a physical perspective. She was great in even 21 Jump Street, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited to see this. I know she wasn't your first choice, Troy.
Yeah, I was going for Emily Blunt. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with an Oscar winner right there, right? No. And she fits the build. I mean, it's going to be a good pick. And I like how they kind of revealed the new Marvel logo too on her hat there.
Yeah,
Marvel Studios logo. Yeah, so I can't wait. I haven't seen enough of her, to be honest, though. I didn't see The Room, but I heard nothing but great things, and she won the Oscar, so that's cool. I guess I was just more comfortable with Emily Blunt because after seeing her in Edge of Tomorrow, like, she can do action, and she has that strength of Captain Marvel that she carries with her, right? So
yeah, exactly. And I think it's, they said we're not going to see her until her standalone movie in 2019, but I can't. They, whether it's in Guardians of the Galaxy, because they've set the foundation, both Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Guardians with the Kree and her creation and that, so you can kind of start to build out the foundation of her origin story, or an Infinity War Part 1. Like, they've got to start seeding this character. I can't imagine they're going to wait to see what is going to be a very strong female character, their first female-led superhero movie coming out of Marvel. They can't wait that long, right? We've got Wonder Woman drop in, we got DC pushing a hard way on that end. Marvel's got to get their character out there. We've got a Black Widow, yes. But she hasn't been given that standalone movie. She's got to give them, quite a bit of running room in the Avengers movies. But at the same time, we need to get a new face out there, I think, for the Marvel on the female aspect.
Yeah, they really got to push her because we've got, Wonder Woman in BVS, we've got her own standalone coming up, and we have her already coming out in the Justice League. That's 3 Wonder Womans right there. And we don't have one standalone.
I definitely don't think that they're going to wait that long.
Yeah.
Because I know Joss Whedon wanted to put for the final shot of Age of Ultron.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to, but they didn't have anybody cast. So he couldn't, obviously he couldn't.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that the Russo brothers probably want to have Captain Marvel there.
Even if it's just Carol Danvers for now. Just introduce the character.
Yeah.
Right.
And say, well, here's Brie Larson. She's not quite Captain Marvel. And say some effect of Infinity War causes her to go through the transformation or something.
At least, like the first movie. And then, like, she gets her powers, whatever, blah, 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 and then she's in Infinity War 2.
You do kind of a pseudo shoehorned in origin story for Captain Marvel in the bulk of Infinity War, similar to what you have with Black Panther and Spider-Man a bit in Civil War, is seeding these characters early on so we don't have to waste the time in an origin or in a standalone movie. We can just kind of progress the character, the narrative of the character. Because that Captain Marvel movie is going to have to, at least to some degree, have some sort of continuum from Infinity War Part 1 through Infinity War Part 2, because I think it lies in the middle of them.
Yeah, it does.
So you can't just ignore that. You can't just have an origin story ignoring like the world getting attacked by Thanos or whatever, right?
That's right.
Unless you do some sort of like prequel. So there has to be some sort of continuity between the movies there, right? You can't ignore that.
It's definitely a balancing act for Marvel.
Do you think we could see Sword now span out of this, or is that too much when we have S.H.I.E.L.D. and we have the Nova Corp? Would Sword just be too much going on in the Marvel?
Too much.
Yeah.
It might confuse some people.
Yeah. You could get it at the end of Infinity War Part 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, well, we've had this big space invasion or whatever. We need to establish this.
Yeah.
Something you could even see off mentioned in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, but
it's difficult. Yeah.
Especially for S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, they're very Earth grounded. They're already kind of a secret organization by themselves within the show. So them going beyond that, it's very, very... It's beyond their scope, essentially.
Yeah.
So that basically wraps up the film and TV slate for Marvel. But we also had, a big impact when it comes to collecting.
Did it
And
ever?
we're just going to focus a bit here on some of the 6-inch, the Marvel Legends that a few of us here collect. And so we had the first view of the Doctor Strange wave, which is a bit of a repeat of what we saw from last year's exclusive, the Book of Ashanti. So we get kind of the Brother Voodoo and the Dormammu. And so we get a couple new characters. We get a new Iron Fist in there, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah, because his last one was like the white suit. This one's back to the green, isn't it?
Yeah, this is kind of more of your original kind
traditional
of looking,
one, but still same body mold and everything, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then we get the movie Doctor Strange and the movie Baron Mordo, which look fantastic.
Incredible.
Great likeness to the characters.
Yeah, the colors are nice, very movie-like.
Yeah, and it looks like some of these characters that are at least repackaged have some nice repaints on them, so they fixed up from the exclusive from 2015 San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
This wave I'm only going to probably pick up the movie characters. I'm not too interested in these other characters unless I start to see and get a bit more into Doctor Strange. I'm probably going to pull back on this set.
Did they announce the Build-A-Figure for this one?
Yeah, so that's the Dormammu.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah.
So that's and then you have another Nico, who I'm not completely familiar with.
Yeah.
So that's kind of coming out in November. So that'll be our last wave for 2016.
Wow.
Then we jump into 2006 or 2017.
Yeah.
So we have our first Spider-Man Legends wave.
Yes.
Just crushing, right?
Killing it.
Yes, we have new Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
We have British Spider-Man or UK Spider-Man, whatever.
Yes, Captain Spider. British Spider-Man, whatever.
Jackal.
Yeah.
Secret Wars Black Suit Spider-Man.
Which is a must-have for any Spider-Man collector out there. Yeah.
Classic Green Goblin and Spider-Man 29.
Boom.
2099.
Yeah, and it's the new, all different costume, which is like, you can't go wrong with this pickup here. It's incredible.
Yeah, and then with that, you also have brand new molds for Spider-Man, so it's not the same buck.
Yeah.
So we're looking at, the UK Spider-Man has something different, the 2099 Spider-Man has something different. So again, it's just not, repaints of old Spider-Man action figures. They're updating these as they go.
Yeah, because I noticed the Captain Britain Spider-Man, he's a little bit bigger, but the head mold on there is like perfect. It's like the best Spider-Man eyes you can find, I think, out there. So I can't wait to pick these guys up.
Yeah, it's looking good. And we have at least 1 or 2 Guardians of the Galaxy waves coming out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of picking up on the movie. So we're looking at the first wave is half comic, half movie. They didn't show or announce any of the movie characters. They're holding that back probably for a little bit. But they did announce the comic book characters. So we get the new young Nova.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we get Angela. So that was the 2015 San Diego Comic-Con Fan Choice Award.
Right.
So that fits into kind of this Guardians line for she, partaked in the comic there for a little bit.
Yep.
And we get Vance Astro with the shield, which looks awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan of Guardians 3000. It's a big character there for me. Darkhawk, which is a kind of a bit more of an obscure character.
Yeah,
so
I saw that one.
Early 90s. He had some part in War of Kings, which is some of the stuff that Abbott and Lanning did when we had kind of this reviving of Marvel Cosmic kind of in the late 2000s.
Oh, okay.
So he's a pretty cool character. And then the Build-A-Figure is, again, quite obscure. Titus, which is a Nova Corps member. And he looks pretty wild, but pretty obscure. So it looks like a cool wave. And probably getting a second wave that is probably mostly MCU characters. Probably like a Yondu, which we didn't get last time. Maybe a Nebula. Maybe one of the villains. So hopefully we get something a little different there.
Did we get a Ronin last time or no?
No Ronin last time. So we
crazy.
just had the Guardians.
Right.
It came out, and that was supplemented with the Iron Man from the Guardians series, as well as Richard Rider who's coming back apparently to the comics.
Okay, cool. I like that because I'm more of a fan of the older one than the kid one.
A comic. Marvel released an image of the old Richard Rider helmet.
Nice.
And it said, I can't remember exactly what it said, but giving the indication that Richard Rider's coming back, which I've been waiting for since that original series ended, or the 2007-ish series ended, which was fantastic.
Nice. And the X-Men. We've got the X-Men wave as well coming up. Another one.
Yes. So we got Dazzler. Which... Okay. Sure, she had kind of a weird cameo-ish maybe thing in Apocalypse.
Yep.
We have Classic Sunfire.
Yep.
Colossus, which is a 7.5-inch figure, which is almost Build-A-Figure size.
So you go with the selects?
It's a scaled to the 6-inch figures. The Colossus, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
We get Polaris. We get a Classic Cyclops. And a Build-A-Figure is Warlock, which, again, quite obscure, not too amped up about this X-Men line.
Yeah, I'm only in it for Colossus and the Cyclops. That 90s Cyclops is so iconic, right? And I'm probably going to pick up 2 of those, and do something with the other one. Take the head off and put on something else. So.
A series that they didn't fully divulge on how deep they were going, but Netflix, we're finally getting action figures from that.
Yeah.
So we got the Punisher, which was announced.
Wow.
As well as Jessica Jones.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they look real good. The likeness to specifically John Berthel looks fantastic.
Yeah. It's great.
And so we're probably going to see a Daredevil. I don't know why that wasn't announced with this.
Right. And I want to see your Daredevil in the black suit. I think everybody wants that one, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
So they're out in Funko Pop form and all that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a whole... Because, the Legend series, they usually drop in waves of 6. And so even if we did half and half, 3 and 3, probably a Daredevil coming out.
Yeah.
I would assume to some degree. Maybe a Danny Rand or something like that. Luke Cage would be awesome as well.
Yeah.
It's a series that they go pretty deep, and they get a whole Legends run out of just the main characters in the Netflix series. So
get a Defenders line.
Yeah, look out for that coming down the pipe. I think that's going to be an exciting wave to see. And it looks like 2017 is going to be somewhat of a lighter year, but this Guardians wave is going to absolutely kill me.
Yeah.
It's 2 solid waves. That's 12 Build-A-Figures at $30 a pop. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then they also got the other line, which is the Marvel Legends 12-inch scale, and they announced Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also they had previously announced Spider-Man, Cap, and Iron Man.
Yeah. $69 each, these things, though.
Oh, is that how much they're going for?
$69. I see them on Walmart.
Wow.
Yeah, can't touch that, man. $69?
No. Yeah, that's way too much.
Way too much.
Even the 6-inch Legends are creeping up. Like I just found Iron Man and Red Guardian at Walmart at $30 a pop. Yeah. These were 24 a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Jeez. And so it's starting to really, bump up in price. So it's going to have to be a bit more pick and choose through here. And, the thing that I do like about some of this, I'm not too amped up about any of the Build-A-Figures. And that's usually what presses me to get all of the action figures across the line, is if I, specifically even with this Civil War wave, I want the Ant-Man Build-A-Figure, but I have to buy 4 figures that really I normally wouldn't buy. So you have a Nuke, the Nick Fury, Red Guardian, and I can't remember what other one. Might be not another one. But anyways, you see that across all these lines with the Hulkbuster Build-A-Wave with the same thing. 7. And I only really wanted 3 of the action figures, right? And so it's a bit killer. So I think with the more obscure Build-A-Figures, it allows you to be a bit more picking and choosing as to what you want in these lines, which I think is a bit healthier for the wallet, at least.
Yeah, it really is.
So let's jump into DC here.
Nice.
So we'll wrap it up here with DC. So DC did have quite a TV presence. Now, again, I'm not super into what's going on in the Arrow and Flash universe, but from what I can gather is that we have the Flashpoint timeline going on in the Flash series, where I guess Barry Allen is no longer the protector of Star City, is it?
Yeah, it looks like in the Flashpoint universe, at least, it looks like it's going to be Kid Flash.
Yeah, so they're running a different timeline through at least a portion of the series.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. It changes status quo with season 3. Like that's big, right? You're not just running with kind of the similar, what we know and what's been built on as far as a fan favorite. So it's pretty cool seeing them develop something different. And this DC TV universe is, I don't watch it personally, but seeing it from the outside, it's more what I want Marvel to do is build up. But again, I guess separating it from the film universe allows them to use more characters,
right?
Bigger villains and maybe more B-list characters, as opposed to your. I'd love to see them throw in a Batman here or something.
I think we might get there. I think we're going to get there sooner or later. But this trailer was pretty nice. We get the return of Reverse Flash, which is cool, and he kind of announces, the title Flashpoint. So I'm really liking this. The only thing I was a little disappointed in is the villain. It seems like we're getting another speedster. and I think we've had enough speedster. Everyone's a speedster in this universe.
Black Flash. I don't know. Like, I'm excited, but I think that it was probably a mistake for them creatively to go through the Flashpoint storyline
Too soon, or
it's kind of because it was a cliffhanger at the end of last season.
Yeah.
And so, knowing what the Flashpoint storyline is, knowing how it ultimately gets resolved, you can see them kind of. It's like, for me, I know that eventually Barry Allen's going to have to go back in time and let his mom die.
Yeah.
You know that this is the only way out of it.
Yeah.
So what's the point of me investing in this if I can already see the outcome of the storyline? And that's like, it's cool that they're doing all this cool stuff, but we know 6-7 episodes into this season that eventually he's have to go back in time to that point, prevent himself from saving his mom.
But what do you think they go the other route and they kill someone else that's significant off the show? Done. Because they might go that route to change things up, right? Because we've seen him already go back in time and do these things, right?
Yeah, I think that they might do that, but at the same time, like, I'm a bit of a nerd, and I already know like all the contracts for all the actors, and they're all full season.
Yeah.
So it's like, I already know that they're not going to kill off like a Justine Martin or a Tom Cavanaugh character, and they brought in Tom Felton from Harry Potter to be like the main villain, one of the main villains. Not main villain, but like be one of like an antagonist against Flash this season. So it's great. Yeah. I just with so much Flash things that they could do from the comic universe, why are we getting another speedster?
Why are we not getting Grodd? Maybe they're saving them for the movie.
Well, Grodd's expensive.
He is expensive, yeah, but he's such a big villain. But yeah, we'll see what happens, eh?
It should be good though. Like I love their television DC universe. Like, I love it. They're gonna do a 4-show crossover.
Yeah, which is awesome.
I'm like, what? Oh, great, I'll watch it. I don't know how you guys are going to plan it out. I mean, it's great. They all shoot in Vancouver.
Yeah.
It's great. So it makes it logistically very easy compared to, like, the Supergirl Flash crossover from last year.
Right.
It's going to be great, but I'm just like, whatever you guys need to do it, cool.
Yeah.
Put whatever you want in it. I'm going to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to suck because I'm going to have to watch 4 shows right away. But no, I think the Flash is doing great stuff.
Yeah.
I really like last year.
Oh yeah, great season.
It's really interesting how they're using the characters, like especially Tom Cavanaugh is such a great actor, and like how
standout,
having recycling his character and giving him new material to work with is really interesting because you don't really see it too much in TV. No. So I think it's definitely some kind of like cutting edge stuff as far as character development in the show. But yeah, I'm on board.
And I know, Troy, you are a big collector of some of the Batman animated series.
Oh, yeah.
And you're talking before we recorded here about some of the collectibles that were announced at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Do you want to kind of enlighten me a bit here? Because it's one of the ends that I really didn't focus on.
Yeah. So Sanjay got you covered here, and Baron too. DC Collectibles is stepping up big time this year. It's always been Marvel Legends. I think they've always kind of won. But right now, DC Collectibles, we got more adventure or more animated series lines coming up with Superman, Lois Lane, which looks phenomenal. We've got a couple more Batman animated series stuff coming up too with interchangeable heads, which is always nice to see. And they've also done another line which is continuing off of the DC Collectibles icons, which unfortunately with those guys, they're a little bit of a smaller scale. They're still about the 6 inches, but they're slightly smaller. They have more articulation, which is great, but the actual lineup itself looks way more promising than what they've been doing. The faces are cleaned up as opposed to the older DC line stuff. It's a little funny. And DC Collectibles, man, they're looking great. I can't wait to get this stuff. So Suicide Squad stuff too. Some of their toy line looks just incredible.
Yeah, it's good to see them stepping up because it's always been dominated by Marvel and Star Wars.
It really has.
Like, even on the shelves, like you see, there's a lot of DC stuff out, and even that multiverse line or whatever it is.
Yeah,
like I was just at a Walmart earlier today, and you're starting to see just stacks of these. And I don't know, there's not a lot of DC collectors. It seems it's very heavily Marvel focused on that, and maybe with them kind of trying to advance this a bit more with the animated series, they're I know a bit harder to get.
Yeah.
And maybe amping it up a bit more, they're actually going to have bigger presence in the stores and maybe see people picking up on this a bit more.
Yeah, I hope they diverse a little bit. I mean, the line you talked about, the multiverse, I'm not too fond of because it's a little confusing. I mean, I know Marvel does a pretty good job with their Legends intertwining the movie and the comics, but with the multiverse, you got like the TV, the movie, and the comics, and it's just, they don't really look that great either. Yeah. A little cheapish. But
is it Hasbro that does them or someone else? I think
is it Mattel? I can't remember if it's Mattel or I don't think it's Hasbro. No. I don't think it is, but basically the strong points to me is their DC icons, their DC designer collectibles. Those are like the strong points, and obviously you can't go wrong with the animated series stuff. So
So how about DC films? So we're going to skip Suicide Squad here because none of us watched the trailer.
Right.
And they had those short, character promos and that. And because the movie comes out next week, and it's at the point where we have to avoid everything because it's, we could probably compress the amount of Suicide Squad images and clips and trailers and teasers and all that together to produce probably a good chunk of the movie at this point. And I've been trying to stay away from this for a couple weeks. I haven't watched since, I think it was the final trailer, as they call it, which was a couple of months ago. And now it's just the TV spots and all that, and this Comic-Con trailer, which is just adding a bit more bulk to the characters and giving away a bit more than I think all of us want to see. Want to, experience some of this in the theater. And it seems to be getting really good reception from the fans. And I'm excited about it, so I'm looking forward to reviewing it here in a couple of weeks. And just see what DC can produce outside of a Batman, Superman focused movie.
Absolutely. I'm curious, just really quick here, do you guys have a box office prediction?
They're calling, and I know Sanjay talked a bit about it, and they're calling for somewhere in the mid 120s.
Yeah.
And I think it could push over 100 million. I don't know exactly how high it'll go.
Yeah.
It depends. Because it's got PG-13 rating. It's a bit more violent. And I don't know if it's going to get your kid crowd that you want, that you're getting out of, say, Civil War. And the recognition of Will Smith will probably give it a bump. And you've got Joker and Harley Quinn in there, and the brief appearance by Batman. So it could easily do over 100 million. I think this is going to overperform whatever the initial prediction is.
Okay, wow.
Would be my guess.
Nice.
Yeah,
And you stick by the one you did before there?
I think it's probably going to be about 100-ish, maybe a little bit over. I think the repeat word of mouth is really going to help it. Second and third week, definitely.
It's going to take a Guardians bump because it's the same weekend that the original Guardians came out. Good word of mouth, and we've got this kind of amped up box office around superhero movies at this point. We're kind of in this bubble right now, and like you said, good word of mouth. It's going to take it over, I think, what the initial predictions are.
Nice.
But we get a good look at the Lego Batman movie. And just watch a trailer again before we started recording here. And this thing looks really fun.
It does.
And I love the satirical take of the Lego movies. And we get a bit more insight as to what the story's going to be, kind of brotherly or father-son relationship between Robin, which is a little different. And, we got Joker in there, Justice League references. And I think it's just going to be a really fun take on the DC Universe, just poking fun at itself a bit, calling out different aspects of the ridiculousness of some of the Batman movies from the past.
Yeah, just the mythos itself. It's it looks pretty funny. The only thing I was a little confused by, and might be even unnecessary, is Robin himself. It doesn't seem like it's Dick Grayson. Doesn't seem like any Robin that Batman's ever had. So I don't know why they just didn't make him Dick Grayson, or
might be
or
for
what.
comedic effect.
Yeah, it might just be just to kind of have the viewer in that seat, right? So other than that, though, it looks funny. He was a big hit in the Lego Movie himself too, right?
Yeah.
So
Definitely. It's Lego movies are just basically printing money at this point. So like a Batman Lego movie, why not?
Exactly.
It's gonna be funny. They're gonna have to maintain their level of quality, and it looks like with this trailer, they definitely are going for that. I'm definitely interested to see where the story goes, if it actually has a story, or if it's just a bunch of jokes.
It probably just seems like a bunch of layered jokes with some sort of loose narrative strung around it. And that's similar to what you see with some of the other Lego stuff as well.
That's true. They're there to sell toys.
So DC Film in itself was there, and it was showing and releasing their trailers to the wider population. So what Marvel didn't produce as far as showing concept images or the trailers or the clips that they showed, DC came right out and said, here's a Wonder Woman trailer, here's the Justice League trailer. For me, one lies on one side and one lies on the other. So let's talk about the Wonder Woman trailer. So this movie drops next year. This is our first female superhero-led movie. We got her introduction in Batman vs. Superman, and we're getting her origin story, it seems, in this movie. What did you guys think of this trailer? Does this get you a bit more amped up for Wonder Woman, or does this pull you a bit back? Is this not what you're expecting?
Like I said last week, I think it's going to be along the lines of like the first Thor, the first Captain America movie. More establishing the character, setting her up, because in Batman vs. Superman, she references the fact that, she left humanity for 100 years. So, basically after the story of the movie concludes, she's going to be disappeared for 100 years. I don't have super high expectations. There's not going to be some riveting storytelling. I mean, they even, tease what her origin is for this version of Wonder Woman, because there's a variety of ones. Okay with it, neither here nor there. None of them are extremely over the top, but I do think that Gal Gadot, great actress that they picked. Definitely love that scene where it's got a bunch of the females fighting the German soldiers on the beach. I thought that was really good. I'm a little bit concerned about the wire work, though. in the trailer.
Yeah.
The fighting looks very wire work.
Really? Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how well it does, because it looks like there's quite a lot of stunt fighting in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's always a concern when you have somebody who might not be able to sell it as well.
Yeah.
As other actors and actresses can do it,
Right?
And that's my main concern. Right
Yeah.
there.
Well, because it seems to take some cues from Zack Snyder movies.
Yeah.
It seems with the slow-mo fighting, and you can see where they've maybe compensated for some of that wire work with using the visual effects within kind of your camera work in that, right? Kind of and you see that when she's fighting the German soldiers within the kind of confined space at one point. And there's a lot of this kind of drawn out sliding, and then you get quick action and then slowed down again. And even the tone of the movie, it looks like with the colors in that, it looks a lot like a Snyder movie.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite way. It feels more vibrant and colorful than the Snyder, because I feel like the Snyder's, at least since Man of Steel and BVS, it's been really gray and just gritty. I felt this was a little more colorful, at least in her costume and her lasso.
Yeah,
I thought
that was
it looked,
cool.
just looked
Yeah.
really good. I love the trailer 100%. I just didn't like the first opener where she says, "Are you a man?" I just felt like that shot was a little weird for me. But I love how she has the Captain America kind of swag going on, where she's knocking bullets and bouncing bombs off of her shield, and I think she's owning it. Like I said before, she's a big standout in my opinion from BVS, and I can't wait to see what else this franchise holds.
Yeah. But I thought, when we initially talked about it, I thought it was more of it's going to be taking place in 3 different timelines.
Yeah.
This seems like it's going to be maybe start in old years in Themyscira, and then maybe at the end you get kind of more or less a connection to Batman vs Superman. But it looks like it's going to be quite concentrated around kind of 1917 or 16, I think it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, I think that's how they specifically stated that's when it is.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how that dynamic develops and how you go from something more swords and sandals looking, which always scares me with movies. And when I see that, I'm like, ooh, they've pumped a ton of money into this, and usually these don't go over very well. But if they can get her out of that and into kind of the World War One with what's his name, Chris Pine or whatever,
Steve Trevor. Yeah.
And hopefully that chemistry is good, and then building on what's going on in World War One as far as humanity. My guess is that she leaves humanity because of the disgust of World War One and people killing people for no real reason, and using stuff like mustard gas and all that. They didn't really develop any sort of villain. Like, I guess there's some shots when she's looking oddly at one of the German generals, and there's rumors that it's the Ares god of war.
Yeah.
But other than the fact that she's fighting Germans, similar to what again you stated with Captain America, there's no real development of who the big bad is, which is it's fine, and that's something that come further and maybe nice reveal within when you're sitting in the theater that okay, this is the big bad.
Yeah.
But for me, as someone that doesn't know Wonder Woman as well, I would like to see maybe a bit more. I don't know. I felt
lacking something.
I don't want to be the dick guy that's Marvel fanboy and saying always putting down DC. I was just lacking a little something. The fight scenes look great.
Yeah.
I think Gal Gadot, like you guys said, looks fantastic. I love the look of the lasso and all that, but I just need a little more. And that's maybe me being a bit nitpicky as far as a trailer and maybe again, I complained that they showed too much with BVS, and now I'm saying that, so I don't really know. I
think it'll be interesting because going to the New 52 comics, at least she has a really interesting relationship with Ares, the god of war, because you do find out that's actually her uncle, right? And he actually trains her, so we really need to see if they go that kind of route. That I think it's from Game of Thrones, John Bean is playing Ares. So if he's kind of conducting this whole World War One and whatnot, then that'll be really interesting to see that dynamic between the heroes and the villain.
Also, another thing I noticed in the trailer, watching it third time, Robin Wright Penn from House of Cards is in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because of the type of actress she is, she might be the antagonist for Wonder Woman.
Because she's Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's in that battle when they're fighting the German soldiers, I believe.
Yeah. She's dressed up in that kind of a darker blue armor.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that'd be cool to see too, because again, going back to the comics, Wonder Woman, Diana's kind of treated a little differently because she's like the princess, so some people kind of butt heads with her. So it'll be really cool, especially with that actress, if she gives her a hard time in the movie. I'd really like to see that rivalry. Yeah.
Right. And then DC dropped the Justice League trailer, which out of nowhere, they've been shooting this movie for 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And well, here we go. Am I crazy, or did this fall a bit flat?
No, I don't think you're crazy at all. I wasn't impressed with this trailer at all. I don't know what they were going for. This movie, I'm gonna go on a rant here. This movie feels so small scale. Like it's missing the epic factor. The chemistry I didn't really feel either. The Flash is really bothering me in this franchise. I know we haven't seen much of him, but every time he pops up, I'm just like, please go away. Just give me Grant Gustin. I know he has like big shoes to fill because we all kind of fell in love with the Grant Gustin Flash, which is cool. And I didn't really like seeing this Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince going around recruiting this team. I want to see him in the Batsuit doing this kind of stuff, not just going to everyone in his civilian gear and revealing to himself that I'm Batman, come join me, we got a big threat to take on. Like, it just felt so out of a place, and like they're trying so hard to fix things from BVS in this trailer. Mm-hmm. So yeah, sorry guys, this one I just bump it. I just wasn't feeling this one.
So you're telling me you didn't like the Expendables-esque montage of collecting heroes and bringing them together?
No, and the other thing which was weird was Victor Stone, Cyborg. So I thought he already transformed into Cyborg, but we see him walking around in like his Varsity Blues jacket, going like. Exactly. So if they make this guy transform in and out of his suit, that's going to be pretty bogus. Yeah.
Wayne, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this before we go into my predictably.
Okay, so I'm of two minds. I think it's great that we got it because there was apparently about a month and a half ago, there was a press set visit. They talked about that one clip with Bruce Wayne throwing his Batarang and Flash watching it go by, and they talked about the Commissioner Gordon stuff. And I was hoping to see Commissioner Gordon in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Or in the trailer.
In the trailer, yeah.
I was like, really? Like, they didn't show him? And like, there's all this press about it, about how he's just like different and how he's like gotten ripped. And
J.K. Simmons,
J.K. Simmons has gotten like jacked for the role. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Okay, so a couple of things. I think that the humor is too forced. It's not natural.
Yes.
Like that one clip at the very end where Batman is talking with Aquaman and is like, yeah, I hear you can talk to fish.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I was like, really?
Like, that should be a slight gag. It's so obvious of a joke that you shouldn't do it because it's not natural.
Yeah.
That needs to be more, again, we talk about this organic humor.
Yeah.
And that needed to be more in an intense moment, I think, to break some sort of tension.
Yeah.
It's like, it just, to me, that was not the right place for that.
Like that. And why is Batman making the jokes?
Yeah.
I
well,
don't
that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck was really good in BVS.
Yeah.
I thought. Like, he was one of my highlights in a movie that I continue to piss all over. But it's in this, I feel his delivery. I don't know if it was the delivery with the music that just didn't fit, or the way he was talking to Arthur Curry and the way he's talking to the Flash. That all felt really forced to me. It's like, again, it's like someone's like, read this, Ben, read this. Like, I don't know what was going on there. Like, it felt natural. I don't know if he's been, uplifted and that's just the way he's been told to act.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to feel better in the scene when you have a proper score set to the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the music.
The music was horrible. It took me right out of it.
Silence.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I thought was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so Batman is literally just in the Flash's lair.
Yeah.
You see the Flash suit just kind of chilling on a mannequin. And you're like, okay, cool. He found it out. Whatever, he's Batman. You expect something. And then like that whole sequence where like Flash is like, yes. It's like, I need friends. It's like...
It was so bad.
I'm sorry, but that is nowhere near the Flash from the comic book.
Right? Or the Grant Gustin. It wasn't good. It wasn't like...
It's just some other version, which is the problem that we've had with some of the DC movies.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not reliant on like any of the previous stories.
Yeah.
It's some other version that somebody came up with. And I think that like the Flash, I think it'll be pretty good. I don't like the suit.
No, nah, me neither.
It reminds me of the first Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, with the armor, it looks
like
too much like the Justice League
pieces. And I think the effect where he like uses his powers and electricity everywhere, I think that's a great effect. I think that's awesome. But again, it's one of these things where you're like, this trailer is a response to the criticism of BVS. It's too dark. I call it the Depression Fest, and that's what it is. This is just like, I've taken my medication and I'm happy now.
Yeah.
When it's like,
exactly,
I don't believe that.
Yeah.
And like now you're starting to see like some of the online backlash is like the Wonder Woman trailer for what it was didn't seem epic, but it was like it did what it did. And that at the end of the Wonder Woman trailer where it's like, oh, what's the secretary? So he tells him where to go. So what to do. And what time we call it. That's a natural joke.
I really enjoyed that part.
And then like the whole joke between Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck when they're like, I asked him, is like he said more or less, and more or more or less.
Yeah.
I was like,
eye roll.
Are you serious? Is that you have the entire Warner Brothers studio behind you, and you have literally whatever comedic writers you can find, and this is the best you can come up with.
Yeah.
I didn't mind their chemistry.
Oh, their chemistry is great.
I kind of liked it.
But that joke is terrible.
Yeah.
And like all the little silly jokes and
But that's the same as I thought she was with you. Like that's along the same lines, right? The wrong person is delivering the jokes.
Yeah.
And that Flash scene went on a little too long for a trailer.
Yeah.
It
should have been him asking, and then, okay, I'll join. Can I keep this?
Yeah, it would have been cool if he's just like, you're Batman. Yeah, I'll join you. You know, because it's just Batman, not just I need friends.
No. Yeah. What about kind of the small assembly at the end where you have Cyborg and Batman having a bit of banter there? Like, I thought you weren't real, and he's like, I'm only real when I need. I like that. I like that line from Batman.
I like that line, but the CG from Cyborg is terrible.
Yeah, you don't like how it's more like polygonal. It kind of looks like
it looks like a PlayStation 1 game. Like honestly, I didn't like his CG suit, and I'm concerned.
Yeah,
like. If it's going to be a transforming thing where like he like has like fake skin over his face and then like it turned when he goes
hologram or something.
Well, both him, Cyborg, and the Flash, it kind of looks like they're borrowing the Injustice kind of look, where it's like over armored costumes, which I still don't like. I mean, why would the Flash need an armored suit? I don't understand that in the first place.
Well, apparently, from what the excuse that they're giving is that it's supposed to be able to keep up
with his speed.
Yeah. And I get that because he runs really fast, so I get that.
You just think with speed, you think of something a little more flexible and
aerodynamic.
Exactly. Yeah, not something that weigh you down. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And then the other thing too is it feels like to me that tonally it's the same as Batman vs Superman, but they've tweaked the dialogue to make it lighter.
Yeah.
So when you look at the scenes and how they're shot, you can see Zack Snyder there. You see the character develop or the character design in Aquaman. And all these are darker looking characters.
Yeah.
But now you're having this more, I'm not even going to call it snappy dialogue. It's kind of something that seems a bit more forced in there.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a bit too early. Maybe they're still ironing out some of the script and that. And maybe they want to get something out there to be like, look guys, we're working on this. This is what it looks like. And you've heard scene descriptions here. And they're, again, trying to get it out in front of some of the poor response from Batman vs. Superman. Mm-hmm. I understand what they're doing. But maybe have a 15 or just show a clip or something.
Yeah, exactly. Give me something more of a teaser.
Yeah. And I don't know, because we're going to take a bit of heat from this from some listeners and also from Sanjay, and that is like, what do you guys want? You say they give us too much in Batman vs Superman, it's too dark, and then they get a bit lighter. But again, they have to find, at some degree, there's got to be a balance there.
Yeah.
And like I've said before, and people don't like when I say stuff like this, Marvel laid a blueprint for them. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a bit formulaic, but they at least have something to back into. Take that and evolve it into more of a DC sort of vibe. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you do, but whatever was shown here, there's some aspects I like. Again, like the Wonder Woman Batman chemistry. I thought that could be something that, if developed right, could be something really good in the film. This whole thing with Aquaman, I don't know what they're playing. Yeah. As far as him being maybe on the team, maybe off the team. Again, be cautiously half optimistic. Yeah. That seems like a real cop out, but I don't know. It fell flat for me.
Do you guys think what are the chances that DC's next trailer for this movie will show Superman footage? Do you think we're going to see that in the trailer, or are they actually going to be able to stick to their guns? And
there's no way that they're going to avoid, because they already showed them assembly.
I know. I know.
And it's like people were like critiquing. It's like, is that the old Superman costume? Like, no, because his boots are different. Like that was the unanimous thing.
Also, he's smiling.
Exactly.
So that's definitely not the old Superman.
But going back to your whole thing about how we're going to catch heat for like crapping on DC, and I think the common thread is Zack Snyder and David Goyer. Those two they're literally waist deep within BVS, Man of Steel, and now Justice League.
Do you think David Goyer's the problem, though?
David Goyer's a writer.
I know, but I don't really know if it's the writing that's necessarily bad. I think it's the direction, what he's pulling and what he's not pulling out of his actors, which is Snyder.
Yeah. I could see that, but I think like you can have a writer that knows how to work with the director, and you have a writer that doesn't know how to work with the director.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it was one of those cases, just get rid of both of them, bring in fresh talent.
No.
Yeah.
Well, another thing that a lot of movies are doing now is it's a writer-director.
Yeah.
Right? It's so someone that has help from other writers, but they're constructing the story as well as directing it, right? So at times that's maybe too much responsibility, but you look at guys like James Gunn, what they're doing with Ryan Coogler, like these guys are developing the concepts, the story, the narrative.
Joss Whedon for First Avengers.
Exactly. And you can see how that, for a larger scale movie, weighed in on Joss Whedon with how Avengers Age of Ultron came out. But at the same time, for something that's, maybe it's, again, do they need to go to a TV guy? Like someone that can handle an ensemble cast.
Right?
Because
that's what they need.
Yeah, they need to give each character their own due and to develop each character and progress their narrative within a much larger story at the same time telling a group story, right?
Exactly.
And it's just, I hate crapping on DC.
I know.
I want to see something more, but this just, I don't know. Like some people are really happy with this, and it's DC polarizing the fan base. Yeah, right.
Every film.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Like and this Wonder Woman is coming, and same with Suicide Squad. They seem to be centralizing the fan base around these movies, right? That's your only two movies in the current universe that aren't directed and written by Dave Goyer and Zack Snyder. Yeah. So that might tell you they've given the freedom to David Ayer to do the writing and the directing, and then Patty Jenkins has had quite an influence, I think, as far as the script development and producing this actual movie, right? Yeah. And so it's a different take, a different direction, and you're seeing a better product out of that. So it's hard to knock on someone that's put probably 5 to 7 years of his life into this movie, into building this universe, to constructing these characters. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we need to see. I don't know what you do.
But I think that's even more of a reason why Zack Snyder should be off the Justice League, because he's putting that much time.
Yeah, maybe he needs to be like director of photography for all, because he's great visually.
Visually, yeah, he can shoot action.
He can shoot action.
His action's great.
Yeah. It's like, but narratively, like you need somebody a bit stronger that has like proven record of being able to shoot a movie that has nothing but dialogue, nothing but character development. That way, you can get that balance, because like Sucker Punch is his own movie. Yeah, movie's got phenomenal action scenes. Yeah. But where's the story? It's confusing.
But again, he's not an ensemble director. If you look at Man of Steel, he does such a great job handling just
I enjoyed that
Man
movie.
of Steel. I love that movie. But then when you have to handle anything more than just one, when you get Batman in the mix and Wonder Woman and Superman, then he struggles. And then now we have more characters to handle. And the same thing with Sucker Punch. He pulled it off somehow with Watchmen. I don't know how he did it, but I really liked Watchmen.
300 as well.
300 as well, but he's struggling. I just think the guy needs to leave the property.
Watchmen, he had a very definitive blueprint to go.
That's true. That's a good point.
There's only really one Watchmen.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
12 issues, graphic. Like, he basically adapted that, shot for shot.
Yeah,
more or less.
literally.
Tweaked some of the story to make it a bit better.
Yeah.
Like, as far as adaptation into film. Yeah. But he had something in front of him, right?
Yeah.
And with Beaver Valdez, he was taking stuff from Frank Miller and stuff from here, adding in some Wonder Woman, Doomsday. Like, there's a lot of content to kind of boil down into I haven't seen the 3-hour cut yet as to whether it's a more continuous story, but at the same time you can't do something in 2.5 hours when you're trying to shoehorn in a lot of universe building. Yeah. Right. So, big question for us here, guys: who won Comic-Con? Was it Star Wars? Was it Kong Island? Was it King Arthur? Was it Marvel? Was it DC? What do you guys think?
I'm going with Marvel, hands down.
Marvel.
Yeah, I'd have to. Shocker, I'm going to agree with you that I think it's difficult, because I think from people sitting on the outside of this, sitting in Canada or whatever, not being able to go to the con, it's nice that DC was able to put out a Wonder Woman trailer, new Suicide Squad trailer, Lego movie, and a Justice League. Well, how they're received is a completely different story, but they made the fans feel a bit more included in what everyone was seeing. Yeah. And maybe it made the people there feel like they wasted their time sitting for hours and hours and hours to get into Hall H. Yeah. Whereas Marvel didn't release. We got scene descriptions from people that were there. We didn't get to see Guardians clips. We didn't get to see the concept art from Spider-Man and the Spider-Man clips, right? And so that is a bit harder for me to swallow. But at the same time, like I was saying before, when they do show the panels and they bring up the cast and all that, and when I'm seeing this huge photograph being taken of this phase 3, like I said before, no one from phase 1, and the expansiveness of the MCU and the amount of movies and the diversity of movies that we're getting and the diversity of direction and directors and writers and all that, it makes me much more excited for what we're seeing. And the fact that we got Brie Larson announced, this cast from Black Panther is absolutely incredible. I'd have to give it to Marvel based on that. I would have liked to seen some more footage. If I could say definitively, if Marvel had shown a trailer for Guardians, which they said before we're not going to show any of this, or something from Spider-Man, maybe you could say more definitively, and maybe you'd have a much more agreement across the wider fanboy base.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm going Marvel.
Completely agree. DC, like I said already, they came correct with their toy line. And I'm a big fan of the Wonder Woman trailer. I really like that trailer. It's probably the second best trailer shown there next to Doctor Strange. Yep. Doctor Strange was incredible. Fox was nowhere to be found, I guess.
No, they're gone. Sorry, Wolverine fans.
They did show a Legion trailer, but I guess that's FX, which wasn't really fond of either. That was a little confusing. But I have to give it to Marvel all the way, and just the direction, like you said, I feel very comfortable, and they feel clearly confident in what their properties are and what they're trying to achieve. Whereas I feel like still DC's always trying to play catch up, and 1 minute they're going this direction, and the next minute they're responding back to whatever happened with the last property and going somewhere else. And it's just
it was damage control.
It's damage control. Yeah, it really is.
And not the TV series from Marvel that hopefully is produced someday.
Basically, I'm gonna agree with you guys. Marvel knocked it out of the park in all fronts. Basically, to be honest, their TV blew DC TV out of the water significantly. Like the hype around the Luke Cage, Iron Fist,
Defenders
stuff compared to the DC TV stuff. Not saying that DC TV stuff is bad, but there's different levels of quality.
Well, especially because we never touched upon Arrow.
Yeah.
Arrow looks pretty bad. He has a new cast of youngsters that are helping him to join the Arrow squad, which I don't like whatsoever. Flash looked okay. Legends of Tomorrow looks cool, but if you've never watched the first season, I think a lot of people are going to be turning away because it's too much to get into with the time travel. So
yeah, and like they're doing Justice Society of America.
Yeah, which the comics don't even do well, so I don't know why they're doing
that. I think
Sorry,
that,
DC.
I think that what DC TV is trying to do is great because we would never have half this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But I think the way that Marvel's going about doing things, they're not taking the shotgun approach. Everything is with a scalpel.
It's calculated.
Everything has a plan. They're not going to tell you anything unless they know 3-4 steps ahead.
Yeah.
Like, I think a best way to put it in is like when they made the first Iron Man, they were already like dropping hints and notes for the Avengers.
Yeah.
Second Iron Man, again, hints and notes for the Avengers.
Yeah.
Introducing Captain America, Thor, like it builds up on itself. And like you were saying, how we've moved past phase 1, we've moved past phase 3, we're now in moved past phase 2, and now we're in phase 3, and then we're showing all these different properties that are going to feed into our big story, which is going to be phase 4 with the Infinity War, and then we're going to move past that, and these are going to be your heroes that you're going to watch movies of. Hopefully you like them. We think you will.
Yeah.
And I think like with the whole TV and movie universe being in the same universe actually adds to that. And like we talked about last week how Jeff Johns is like now like the guy in DC to kind of massage everything together, and he's like allowing the TV to do a little bit more than they were able to do before. I think that's it's basically like too little too late.
Yeah.
They need to be making these moves 2010.
Well, yeah, after Avengers 1, they should be taking notes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like after the critical acclaim of the first Iron Man movie, DC would be like, okay, where's our plan?
Well, it's like wrap up the Christopher Nolan Batman and let's get to it.
Like I understand the Christopher Nolan Batman movies are great, and I kind of see why they had to hold back because they made a contract with him, and he's such a good director, and we would never have Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Dark Knight is an amazing movie, but how does it really help the DC cinematic universe? It doesn't.
It hindered it to a degree. We got fantastic movies, but it hindered the early development of a DC cinematic universe.
Exactly.
Yeah, big time.
And they're not going to, shit on the head of Christopher Nolan because that's somebody that they know can make a great movie for Warner Brothers. So it's like, okay, we got to wait. And then when we wait, instead of coming out with a couple movies, maybe 2 or 3 in a year, we get Man of Steel on its own.
Yeah.
And when really it should have been a standalone Batman, standalone Wonder Woman, standalone Superman.
Yeah.
All in the same universe, and then all reacting to what's happening in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And that would have been a better sub. And that's why, that's what it feels like they're always playing catch up because they really don't have a plan. Maybe they do now. Maybe they came up with this plan a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But Marvel's had this plan in place for years.
Yeah.
And I saw an interview with Kevin Feige a couple years ago, and he says like, in my office I have a roadmap all the way to 2020.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And he's just so confident when he says it because I know what every single character in every single movie. These movies, they may be a little bit kind of samey in the way that they're shot and directed. but at least it's entertaining and it's not confusing for the fans. And that's why their Marvel panels, that's why all the things that Marvel announced and debuted and showed are just, where do I need to go to watch this?
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Take my money now.
Exactly. Like, I can't wait for September 30th so I can just, like, binge on Luke Cage. I can't wait for spring when I can binge on Iron Fist. It's like, I don't really have that same feeling from a lot of the DC properties, like, for the TVs. Like,
no, and the biggest thing with the DC is my expectations are getting lowered and lowered. I had big expectations with Superman and delivered, and then with BVS they were high, now it went low, right? And then with the so on and so on with the next properties. So,
well, there it is, folks, from the Nerd Room. Definitively, Marvel wins Comic-Con. I'm interested to see what our boy Sanjay has to say about that.
I'm Baron.
Yeah. So, guys, Wayne, remind us where we can find you on the internet.
Basically Audio Rebellion on Twitter. That's basically my home right now. I just read and like stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Nice.
And now as a recurring host on the Nerd Room as well.
Thank you for having me.
So you can find us on Facebook, and we're also on all sorts of different platforms, Stitcher, Google Play, all that kind of stuff for all your listening pleasure. Find our Twitter handles at the end of the episode if you ever want to fire a question our way. And guys, it's been a pleasure talking San Diego Comic-Con with you. It's a bit of an extended episode because we had so much to get through. And I look forward to seeing some of this stuff and reviewing some of the stuff in the near future.
Nice.
For the Nerd Room, I am Tim.
I'm Troy.
I'm Wayne.
And thank you for entering the Nerd Room. Yeah, this is... Oh! Don't forget to subscribe and rate and review us on iTunes. You can find our hosts Tim, Sunday, and Troy on Twitter at TheNerdRM, 1912 Podcasting, and Troy, the Boy, 87.